Hey everyone out there in Meadowland, I'm Lauren.
I'm Metal Max.
We're coming at you guys with another edition of the Shreds from the Tomb. This week we got a lot of exciting news coming up for you guys, but I'm gonna let him start it off.
That's right. All right, so we got we got bands with new albums to talk about. One that has an album in the works already, and another that just came out today. Let's start with what came out today. Death Angels, The Evil Divide is finally out. It's 10 tracks of nothing but the best in Death Angels brutality.
And more.
Exactly, yeah. And it's amazing that they've made this many albums so far, considering that when in their original heyday, it was only 3 albums. And a number of things happened that, made them realize that they just couldn't go on as farther as they should have back then. But anyway,
and here now, we got some awesome new music.
That's
so
right.
That's what matters.
Song titles on the new album include "The Moth," "Cause for Alarm,"
Lost, Father of Lies, Hell to Pay, and many, many more.
That's right. It's 10 tracks of pure brutality. Actually, 11 if you get the deluxe edition.
Which I'm sure it's worth the money.
Oh yes. So yeah, go out and check it out because this is Death Angel we're talking about here.
Yeah, come on. And on to our next article. I actually have a really awesome lineup to a festival that's happening in Houston. It's called Houston Air, and it's in September, and clearly down in Houston, Texas. But it's down, it's in September, and there's going to be over 35 bands. And I mean, the lineup is really, really awesome. And I'm going to read a couple off to you guys. I wrote them on my hand because there's too many bands to fit in my head and on my hand. Like, my hand's really small, so I'm just gonna read a couple of them, okay?
Yeah.
We got Avenged Sevenfold, Alice in Chains, Deftones, Slayer, Chevelle, The Cult, the Ministry, Ghost, Anthrax, Pierce the Veil, and Mice and Men, and like so many more. So you guys just like check out the lineup. We got it down in the link below.
Absolutely.
It'd be worth it though.
If we could go to the show, we would.
And you guys will find out why I'm not later in this video, so.
Exactly. You may remember the band Cinderella and how they had such amazing big hits back in the 80s, like Nobody's Fool, Don't Know What You Got Till It's Gone, and of course, Heartbreak Station. Well, in a recent interview, Tom Kiefer, their frontman, explained why they've been very, very inactive the last couple of years. It's mainly been a combination between Tom's vocal issues versus, doing his solo career. By the way, his solo stuff actually sounds almost like what a new Cinderella album would sound like. So there's your answer right there, because personally, that's the closest we'll ever get to a new Cinderella album nowadays. The last album they came out with was back in 1994 with Still Climbing. Now, of course, Cinderella broke up afterwards, but then reunited in 97. They actually did sign a record deal with Sony, but then that went south, created a bunch of legal issues for them, but they didn't stop them from doing a bunch of tours. Well, anyway, it's unclear as to whether or not Cinderella will get back together again, but I guess in the meantime, we can check out some of Tom's solo stuff and maybe even see him out on the road at some point.
Keeping a positive outlook on that one, Max?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, sometimes you have to settle for less even if you don't want it. So,
yeah, that's true.
Anyway, but anything new that happens in the world of Cinderella, you'll know.
Oh yeah, you will. And on to more new music. Testament is actually back in the studio, despite being on tour, which I mean, me and Max honestly can't say a whole lot about that because we saw them with Slayer when they came to Madison. So yeah, we're just waiting patiently, So we'll just wait and see how that goes.
But the fact that they're taking so long on this album makes makes us believe that it'll be well worth the wait.
Oh God, yeah. The name of the new album is The Brotherhood of the Snake, and we're all just gonna wait and see how it goes, and I'm sure it'll be awesome. So we'll wait patiently as always.
Indeed, we will. Finally, the band, those of you who have not heard of the band Crash Diet, they are a Swedish band overseas, obviously, and a couple of their videos have actually seen rotation on HeavyMetalTelevision.com. Well, they just recently lost their singer, and but the members say that it's not something that's an active priority for them in terms of searching for a new singer. Now, whether this means a breakup's possible or they just want to keep it on the down low for a while, well, who knows? But personally, I think Crash Diet should at least try to find a new singer and keep cranking out those tunes because they're just so infectious, Songs that they've done include Cocaine Cowboys and Generation Wild, which you can find videos for also on YouTube. I recommend them. Check them out.
And now, for the best, what I think is the best of all my articles is, I don't know if you guys have already heard about it, but if you guys haven't been on the internet or been under a rock in the last couple weeks, then you probably haven't heard about it. But the Misfits are reuniting for the first time in 33 years for 2 acts. 2 acts, just 2! They don't have any, no more shows announced after that. So, we'll all hope they stay together, but nonetheless, they're going to be at Riot Fest in Chicago and in Denver. And me and my friends always go to Riot Fest every year, so, that was already the plan. But this just makes it even better. Why go down to Houston when you can see the Misfits in Chicago in September?
Yeah.
I'm just going back on what I said earlier. Oh, great lineup. No, I hope I see you guys on the bus and down at Riot Fest because it's going to be so awesome. So,
yeah.
they Doyle and Jerry Only and Danzig are all going to be there, and they haven't played together, like I said, for 33 years. So, I would think that, paying $100 or so to come down there and see them, I think that it would.
It'd be well worth the investment.
Yeah, and I think you guys, I think it's right now, it's looking like it's a one-time, a one-shot thing. So I would say, I hope I see you guys there. I hope I see you guys at the show. So I'm going to leave that one at you guys, though. So.
Finally, and one last bit of new album news, it was recently revealed that the upcoming new Korn album is going to be the most exciting album they've ever put out. Now, hopefully this means a return to a lot of the harder aggression that we haven't heard since 2003's Take a Look in the Mirror. And personally, with Head back in the group now, there's no excuse for it not to be very brutal.
You heard him.
Exactly. And, here's the thing. Korn pretty much formed in the early 90s. They were, their first 2 albums went gold. Their self-titled album and Life is Peachy. It wasn't until Follow the Leader came out in '98 that they really became a big phenomenon. You had where they hit it big with certain tunes like Got the Life and Freak on a Leash. The video for the latter, of course, being directed by none other than the guy who created Spawn, Todd McFarlane. Seriously, over the years, their albums have been a little bit hit and miss.
To say the least.
Yeah. I think the last album that they did, in my opinion, that dubstep album, you can't fault them for trying something new, but in my opinion, that didn't sound like Korn at all.
Not at all.
So, anyway, no word on when the new album is supposed to come out, but I predict it'll be, it won't be long before we hear about it. And can you also believe this will be their 12th album?
Oh, I know.
Seriously, I've never heard of a band such as Korn being able to last all that long.
I know, right?
But they've made it work, so gotta give them credit for it.
It's true. Even after those dubstep albums, whatever you want to call that,
Yeah.
dubstep noise, like I'm not really sure what the difference is, to be honest.
Who knows? Anyway, when we hear more about Korn's new album, this is where you'll hear about it here on Shreds from the Tomb.
Of course. And always, I'm Lauren.
I'm Metal Max,
We're signing off.
and that's part of our Metal World tonight.
On Middle World tonight, yes.
I did a little Dan Rabbit there.